Nothing like internet problems, are there, Curt?
Damon, are you there?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Hello, Damon. Damon, can you see me?
Yeah, I see you now, Curt. I see you. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm old. Can you? What?
Really? My goodness, everyone. How many shows have Curt and I done here? And today the internet nearly wrecked us. Nearly wrecked us.
Man, I'm pulling my hair out today, Damon.
Yeah.
Tech
it looks like it was, but and Charlene was gracious enough to stick around with us. So so the one or two listeners that are here right now after we were 10 plus minutes late, I hope you have fun listening, because we're going to have fun today, because Charlene's awesome. Take it away, Curt.
Yeah. So, all right, you know what? We're in a good, happy place. It's Friday. Sun is shining, Damon. Serenity now, right? Peaceful, happy. You're getting a puppy tomorrow. So, guys, welcome to Manufacturing E-commerce Success, where our goal is for you to stop being the best kept secret. So, with that being said, Damon, did you know we have Charlene Brown? Charlene Brown is on the show today.
Really?
Today. Charlene
Can't believe
Brown. It. So anyway, guys, we want to welcome the one and only Charlene V. Brown. Charlene, how are you today?
Hello. I am excited to be here today. I had a good day. I didn't think I was going to make it this morning, but I just woke up with a lot of energy. So I am here.
Oh, you are always full of energy. So guys, Thank you for your patience. Guys, we apologize. Yeah. And Charlene's going to this is just part one.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are here, you're just gonna get a little sliver of the power of Charlene Brown. And so here we go.
John's here.
John, our loyal John Baglino here. All right. So Charlene, you are a brand Misfit. My goodness gracious. Can you explain to everyone? We're going to dig deep into Brooklyn Custom Designs. But before we go there, can you please explain what is a brand Misfit?
Yeah, so a brand Misfit, I really came together with the name at the end of last year. I had my fellow brand expert just walk through with me everything that was going on in my head, because I never felt like a typical web developer or even a brand strategist. I just always felt like there was something else that I was doing. So she said, you know what, you're a misfit. And I'm like, you're right. I never really follow rules. So what I do is I really help my clients understand what type of technology that they should be investing in. And I always believe your website is a foundation of your marketing, of just where people can get to know you. Everything should be coming back to you. And what's a better way to do that than have a website that represented you, talked on your behalf? It's your 24-hour brand ambassador. You don't have to pay too much for it, but it'll do everything for you if you just understand what you want and then tell it what to do. So that's just how I came to be with that name. But I started this in 2000. I've been doing web development and design for a long time, and WordPress, I believe, launched in 2003. I started using it in 2004. Right, so that's just been my thing. And I love the power that WordPress has. It's just so amazing. And they listen to the community. I mean, you have the back and forth with text, but at the end of the day, they actually are listening. They see what's going on, and they allow the community to chime in and give some feedback and even create stuff for the community. So I love it.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I'm going to butcher the cliche of it takes length of time, years, whatever, to earn somebody's trust, but you can lose somebody's trust in a split second.
Yes.
And it's just to kind of reverse that when it comes to your website, making that great first impression. And so guys, so for the folks that are with us today, and again, we're going to have Charlene back, but you want to make that great first impression, and talk about making a great first impression with your website, Charlene. If you go to Brooklyn Custom Designs, man, you have an amazing, incredible website. So you don't talk the talk, you walk the walk, and you have all sorts. I love you. You have like a call to action button about what is it? The rescue, come to the rescue, right?
Yes, the SOS. Yes, the website rescues, for the struggle sites. Yes, for the struggle sites, because
Yeah,
I always
struggle
saw that
sites,
people
yeah.
have a website, but it's not doing anything, or
Right.
it's pretty, but it's not functional. So I always said, you know what, you're struggling, and so is your website. So let me help
Right.
you out.
Exactly. And it's so critical. And what I absolutely love. So I want to dig into your background a little bit, and then we're going to take a deep dive into your business. Okay. So
Yes.
you have a lengthy corporate career, if I understand that correctly. Is that
Yes.
so at Reuters? Talk about
Yes.
like how do you have this amazing and incredible corporate career? And then I want to lead us right up until when you kicked off and started your entrepreneurial journey. So let's dig into Charlene. Who is Charlene Brown?
Yeah, so I started with oh my God, I started with my corporation when they were known as Research Institute of America. So RIA for a lot of the
Okay.
I would say the financial people would know them more because that's
Mm-hmm.
where my development started, where we create content and put that online. So I was always a part of their online world where we had content for our subscribers, and they would be lawyers, accountants, and all the flurry of information that you see going on in the government when they are waiting up late at night. So are we, because we're waiting for the information. And once they start passing those laws, our editors, who are also attorneys, and they're deep into the law, they start to dive into their specialties, and they start to break down explanations of what the law is. So then we give those easy explanations to our customers. So I was always a part of that world of making sure something was available online for customers. So when I started my own business, it was really weird because I started later and around 2014. But I was doing tech and development in 2000 because I wanted to do like a website music review
Okay.
site for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So I did that and I learned that way. And by the time I started to launch my business in 2014, I noticed that there were so many women in my neighborhood around me that, they were amazing, but nobody knew who they were. So I said, you know what, I know how to do websites. Why don't I just help them get that up and running? And that's really how I started to dive into that. I started to take a lot of that information that I've been learning in corporate, like how to work with people, how to do things with different teams, and how to get information and products out there on time. I started to take that in and use that for my business. And I even went back to school thanks to my corporate world. And it was just an amazing thing to have a company that you have the time and the flexibility to still dig deep and help others outside of the workspace.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So again, man, we're a little goofy technical today. So poor Damon. So guys, Damon is off getting a new puppy, so he's traveling today. So we're having some tech issues. We're gonna have Charlene Brown back, but if you're joining us, thank you. Maybe even drop in the chat box if you're still with us, because and Charlene, even if nobody's here, you and I are just gonna have a great conversation. So
Yes.
what I absolutely love. So major corporation. You
Yes.
sing to solopreneurs. I mean, like those can be two more opposite worlds, correct?
Yes,
Sure. Well,
definitely.
like for those of us, entrepreneurs that, maybe haven't had a taste of corporate, share a little bit on like how your superpowers, all the experience, your passion, everything that's come from you through this experience at a big corporate. How has that helped you become a better solopreneur? I know I'm not supposed to ask two questions at once, but I'm going to anyway. How has that helped you become a better entrepreneur? And how does that help you with your clients and help them to be better entrepreneurs with all this corporate experience that you have?
Oh, that's a great question because I think what it really allows me to do is learn how to work with different personalities.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're a solopreneur, that's what you're doing. You're dealing with different clients, possible partners who they just work differently. And it's not always a bad thing. It's just a way for you to either open up and learn how to work that way, or learn how to vocalize in a productive manner that this is not going to work.
Right.
And it's not to say that you're rigid, but it's to say this is why it wouldn't work for me, or this process or this project, because ABC. A lot of times people say, nope, I don't want to do it, but they don't really break down why, or allow it to be not a personal thing, but a business sense. And I think that's where I started to really learn that, especially when I went back to school. I was learning like how to run a company or how to manage a company. And I started seeing, like, I would start looking at company emails differently, because okay, I can see why they're saying this. I don't like it, but I can see why this is coming through.
Yeah.
And then when I started to have to make some difficult decisions with my clients, I can see why, how everything kind of formulated and why things are happening. So I would say the two worlds mesh together well, because the corporate taught me how to run a business, how to manage myself and others who work under me or with me, and definitely how to approach different minds and different mindsets, and how to work with clients who, if they needed a little push, or if maybe we needed to break apart, this is how you do it, but still keep that respect among each other. And I think that made it better for me in the long haul.
Oh, that's phenomenal. And I absolutely love how, guys, you want to connect with Charlene Brown. Check out her website. We have Gary Wood is here today. Gary, thank you. And Gary says, hey, that was 3 questions, Curt. So Dan Bigger has to run. So again, Dan, we're going to have Charlene back. So Val is here at Monofrax. Val, sending my heart and my love to you, of course. So what I love about that is I want to, if you follow Charlene, you do, and we're going to dig into this in a minute. And again, when we have you back, maybe we'll take a deeper dive. But you're a leader. You're spearheading, like you just said, helping other entrepreneurs, other women entrepreneurs in your community. So you're on LinkedIn Lives, you're podcasting, really leading a charge from a tech, women in tech. You're a nice advocate for that, correct? What has inspired you, or like with this corporate experience that you have? Do you feel that's helped you become a better leader to help these other solopreneurs or other entrepreneurs?
Definitely, because it allows you to really step back and get out of an emotional space and come from, how can this better both of us? And it's not just, it's all about me or it's all about you, but how can we both benefit? So even if you're helping others, how does that really at the end of the day allow you to grow? And that's where it becomes, how do you work on projects, or how do you just do anything and take a learning experience from it, even if it's a failed experience, but you're learning from it. You're not just saying, oh, this didn't work out, and you just move on, but what could I have done better, or what is it that made it fail, and what can we avoid later, or things like that. So I think that's where the corporate world really works out, because you also have a space to fail, and it's not just all on you. So if a project doesn't work out, it's a team that can kind of balance that out, and everybody can come and brainstorm, and you learn better that way as well.
That is awesome. So again, Brooklyn Custom Designs, you have a bunch of fun taglines either on your LinkedIn profile or on your website. And what I love is that you preach profits. Not that we want to sound like, hardcore capitalists, PIGS, right? We don't, but however, like if we're not sustainable and as solopreneurs, like we're trying to make a living for ourselves, provide for our families. So what I love is like your magic and silver bullet, your superpowers, making that, taking a vision from an entrepreneur, bringing it to life with their website. Like you said, your website is your brand ambassador. But what I absolutely love about you, Charlene, is that you're focusing on the bottom line for your clients, where a lot of people are like artistic, not necessarily the starving artist, but maybe they're not business minded, business experience that you have. So I love that you bring that leadership and that expertise. So talk a little bit about transforming clicks to profits. Is that the name of your podcast? Do I have that correct?
Yes, it is. And it's really about understanding what's the best way that people have been able to make money online and make it sustainable. And yes, the website is your bread and butter of foundation in marketing, but you have to understand, just because you built something like that doesn't mean you just leave it, set it and forget it like a cooker, right? You have to still put into it. You still have to nurture it. The same thing, like if you can put all your energy in social media, then why aren't you doing half of that for your website? Where if you just set it up, you have everything going. You have the funnels, you have your email list building, because you're sending people there. So if you're making that part of your just the way you breathe and the way you operate, then it becomes a part of your everyday operations. So that's where the Transform Clicks to Profit podcast comes in, where I talk to more people about that. So it's not just my experiences, but experiences from my clients and just others, because sometimes others say, yeah, I don't send anyone to my website, so I want to dig into that. Like, why have a website you send nobody to? And then why depend on outside forces like social media that can shut down at any time, or your account gets taken away from you for whatever reason? Now you've lost all of that hard work that you've done because you didn't build the back end.
That's phenomenal. So what I want to do today is I want to dig into, I want to take a dive into like the why. Okay. And when we have you come back, I would love to go into like a little bit more of an instructional how. Is that how this, okay. So let's talk about the why. Okay. And another thing that I love that you preach, like the DIYers out there, it seems like that's who you sing to. At what point in time do you find that the DIYer kind of like throws in a towel, cries uncle, whatever term cliche that we want to say, and they're like, I need help. I need Charlene to come to the rescue. What stage do you encourage that DIYer to say, hey, you know what? Why don't you're at a point you need some professional help here. Do you have a sign that you see with your clients typically, or does that make sense?
Yes. A lot of times it's that it's just not their passion. It's not for them. Their heart is somewhere else. So they don't want to sit down and even learn. Like, even if I give them a tutorial, if I walk through it, they just don't want to know it. They don't, it's not what they care about. So that's when I say, you just need to invest in someone who will do it for you. And another sign for me is, when the functionality is not there, because a lot of times we have all those drag and drop sites. Those are great, but then you know that you need a different level of functionality. So Squarespace is awesome, but if you know you need something to automate in a different way that the platform of Squarespace will not allow you to, because they limit you in a certain way, then you know you need a coder. So you need to invest in that. And I never try to encourage DIYers to do all of that on their own, because you're running a business. So if you can't be your IT department and run the operations. So it's really about letting go and knowing what's your strength. What is it that you really need to do? And if you're going to be the head of the company, look at all these other businesses that have scaled. They had to at one point step aside and bring in other people. So it's good to know what should be done, but you don't have to be the one to do it all the time.
Right. I love that. So, all right. You are a WordPress guru, the queen of WordPress, to my understanding. Do I have that correct? So
I'll take that.
I'll take that. You own that, right? The queen of WordPress. Why WordPress, Charlene? What is so amazing about WordPress in your opinion?
I love it because I want to feel like I have more control over what I put on my site. I want to have control over who promotes on my site. What type of code I can use on my site. And I don't want to feel like I'm being nickel and dime for every single thing, every functionality that I add. Yeah. So WordPress is a place that WordPress.org, I'll even specify. Yeah. WordPress.org is a place where you can download for free. You just have to pay for your hosting and, of course, your domain name. But you run the gambit. You get to do what you feel like, to what your imagination is, and of course what your budget would allow. And then you can bring people in and you have more of a back end open access to do what you want. And I think it's really that. It's the coding. I've been kicked off of forums because they didn't like my opinion. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own website. and I've been stronghold in the point where I've been limited on what I could do. I remember when I first started, I was trying to do videos on my own site, and they were like, oh, wait a minute, this is too much. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to, and this was before YouTube. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? So WordPress allowed that to say, you know what, if I want more power, I have the option to go to my hosting company, get more power, and still do what I want to do. It's really a limit of what you can do, what you can think about, and of course, who you can bring on to be a part of your team and help you out.
Oh, that's fantastic. And our dear friend John Buglino from Obtessa says Charlene's LinkedIn events are so much fun. So Charlene,
Thank you.
lots of love coming at you from John at Obtessa. So let's take it a little bit further on WordPress. So say we sing to manufacturers. I don't sing because nobody would want to listen to that, but our preach is to manufacturers. So manufacturers, in the past, frequently the website wasn't a top priority, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So their brand ambassador was a little bit neglected or just an afterthought because they were traditionally trade shows, sales reps, that type of thing. So for a manufacturer knocks on your door and says, "Hey, Charlene, I hear and understand that you are the queen of WordPress. I want to get started." Walk us through a little bit, and this is total foreign to them, right? This is a raw manufacturer. They know their widgets inside and out, but marketing, website is just not their thing. If we're speaking to that manufacturer right now, walk them through that early stage process on how you would bring them in as a client and how would you save their day? How's that?
Yes. Well, the first thing is, what's the purpose of you even being online? Why do you want to be found online? Why do you want to have a space online? Why do you want to be known? And once you understand what's your purpose and what do you want to be known for, then let's start creating keywords around that so we can create content around that. So from your home page to your about page, you want to make sure that you're incorporating these words that you will, when people start to look you up, they can find you first, especially if you're creating your own vocabulary, right? If you're creating your own terms, then of course you're going to dominate that space, but you want to make sure you're creating around that. So even when you start to amplify your voice on social media, all of that's going to be bringing people back to you. And I would definitely say, whatever it is that you want to be known for, start to use your website to showcase that expertise. Start to create that. And I know a lot of people get nervous when they hear the word blog or vlog, but that's the easiest way to constantly create content on your own terms and do it the way you want to and test it out too. So you're not worrying about algorithms, you're not worrying about any of that, but you get to do it on your own platform. And then whatever doesn't work, you can remove it, you can delete it, and you just keep creating. And then if you're not great at writing, bring someone in. It doesn't even take that long. Once you understand what you want, that other person can come in and help speak with you and on your behalf.
That's phenomenal. And so again, I want to run with this conversation right here. So we're manufacturer in front of us, man. They're like, Charlene, you had me at hello. I'm totally digging this, but I'm a little bit, so I'm following the process. I'm still like, you do a great job of like clearing the clutter, minimizing the struggle, maybe even eliminating the struggle and preventing that confusion. So let's say we get past that point of like, you start the website for that client, that manufacturer, or whoever you're working with. Talk about like, what are some next steps? Okay. If I put up a brand new website, it's awesome. It's amazing. I'm still the best kept secret. You talk blogs. Let's go a little bit further. Like, what are some steps that I can do to stop being the best kept secret and prevent confusion on like how this whole online marketing thing works?
Yeah, well, the easiest and quickest way is, of course, creating video. So if you know that your site is up, you just created a new resource of maybe the top tips or the top things that people can do when they're getting ready to work with you. How can they prep themselves? Then you start spreading the word and saying, hey guys, I created this great new resource. You can find it on my website. Head on over there. And then you give them little tidbits about it. So, tell your tips, but give them the topic of the tip. And then maybe like one way they can implement the tip and say, hey, to find out more, I have more details, go head on over to my site. But you're always driving traffic back to you. And then the more you're almost like a little tour that you're going out, you're constantly, it's almost like an education thing at that point. So when you're educating the community about it, then they start to look that up. They start to research it. And especially, we all know we love a consumer who is an educated consumer. So if you can start to educate them and give them those resources, and then allow you to be that resource. So maybe there's a place that you trust in manufacturing. You can create a list of resources and then put those on your website as well. So now you're linking to well-known other places, and then you're bringing that all back to you so they see that too, because especially if they are doing what they should do when it comes to SEO and they're paying attention to other places that are linking back to them, they're going to say, oh, wait a minute, we got a new link, who is this? And then they're going to start to be curious about that too. So you want to make sure that what you're putting out in the world, you can reflect back on your website, and it allows you to be that trusted resource.
Awesome, man. That was. Let's take a little moment of silence. That was phenomenal. I'm giving you a little golf clap there. So, all right, Charlene, let's go here. Okay. You mentioned before, like, say, Squarespace. I know there's like, other like plug and play type programs. Okay. So let's say manufacturer out there and they're using one of these. We won't mention names. I already mentioned one, but we won't mention names. But say they're on a platform and you're like, man, they really should be on WordPress. Okay. And again, like, I'm a manufacturer. It's a little bit intimidating to me. I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand it. Walk that person through when you want to switch them from ABC platform, CMS, whatever that they're on, and you want to pull them into WordPress. Talk about how, I won't use the word easy, but how do you put their mind at ease that, hey, I'm going to take you off this platform. I'm going to put you on WordPress. We've been talking about the benefits, but walk through that process so they understand it.
Yeah, so I definitely let them know that, look, even if you're not tech savvy and you're not comfortable, I'm here to be a resource. I can help with the retainer and take care of it for you. So at least you know the tech part is covered by me. However, to get you on there, what I do is have my sandbox site so you can see what would it look like, how can it be, and then I get you comfortable understanding what WordPress is. So of course you have your training videos with me. We have time that we walk through it. Yeah, I show you the back end so you're not nervous, and especially if all you want to do is update the words, the text of the site, I'll show you exactly where to go so you're not figuring like, oh, wait a minute, am I messing up the layout? No, you would not mess up the layout, but right. I'll show you how to just focus on the words and the photos, because sometimes people want to update their own pictures. I'm like, okay, no problem. This is what you would do. So it's really about understanding the tools that you have, because that's what your website is. It's a tool. Right. So it's really understanding. So just like as we all love to run out and get those new iPhones or those Samsung, and we sit down and we're like, okay, I'm going to learn it today. I'm going to take this weekend. I'm going to learn. Right. Then I think that's what you should also do for a tool that's going to help your business make a name for itself. And that's what your site is going to do for you.
That's fantastic. And so I was talking with a manufacturer about a few weeks ago now, and they were in Indianapolis. And again, widget expert, they know their product better than anybody else. This gentleman was a veteran, God bless him, and has an amazing, incredible company. Website not a priority. I said, hey, I gave this gentleman your name. And what's great about this process here is, like, he can focus on being the widget expert. He can focus on his business, not take his eye off the ball, and bring in a trusted guide, a trusted resource like you. And it gives a person, man or woman manufacturer peace of mind knowing that I have an expert on my side like Charlene, who just has my back and can take charge of this. Let's go here, Charlene. So when you create that engagement with that manufacturer, what are some of the requirements that you need to really help? Like, hey, we want to crush it. We want to just be make you a rock star, Mr. and Mrs. Manufacturer. What are some of the requirements that you need to really help you be successful for that manufacturer?
Yes. Well, the first thing is always I need content. So I need them to either tell me that they can create it, or I can get a team member to help them with that. And they're ready to do that. They're ready to do that work. Because I think that's where it is. A lot of times you feel like, oh, I can just hand over my logins and you'll take care of everything.
Yeah,
like, no. Yeah. This is a website is always a done with you process in the terms of we need to still understand from your standpoint, what is your business? And then how do you want it to represent you? So part of that is getting to know you, getting to know what your services are, and you should be clear on the the terms, the copy, like what are the descriptions you want to create? What type of call to actions do you want? Do you want them to sign up for an email list? Do you want them to go to a certain sale? And if you know that in your business, every quarter you're changing, some companies, they change every week. There's a new product every week. So you need someone who can be on top of that. And for that I would need you to send that in at least 24 to 48 hours before you want it to go live. Because as we all know, if tech can happen, we want to at least get it ready and then test it and then send it out. But you never want it to be a rush job or a last minute thing, because websites don't operate that way. If you wanted a cart, someone to go to a sales cart, and it doesn't work for whatever reason, now you have a third party involved. You have Stripe or PayPal or whatever other company that you might be using that's going to be involved. So you want to make sure that all of those players are in place. So I would definitely need you to not only know your logins, but know your business, know the products that you have, and then know your customers. If you know your customers are great when it comes to responding to emails, or they're always signing up to your email list, then let's put that at the forefront. If you know that they might need to know more about your services, then make sure that you have the key services that you want to promote at the forefront. So you should always know what is it that you definitely need to have happen. So of course you need to know your goals in your business. What are the business goals you have? If you have it? And of course we have the goal for the year, and then what are your quarterly goals? Because a lot of times that's what really drives what your website will be doing and promoting. And then you need to have your marketing down, because when your website is up, now drive the traffic. Have your promotions ready to be on social media. If you're going to do anything for a major sale, have that coordinated. Don't do the sale first and then try to get the website together, because then you're going to look crazy, because when people are trying to go there, either the link isn't there, the page is not up, or it's not finished, or the price wasn't changed. So you're going to have a lot of people who are not, they might not even say anything to you. They just won't come back. And you start to lose that trust and that momentum. So always have a plan. And I stress strategy. Have your website strategy ready. And it's always going to be a part of your marketing strategy. So once you start to do your marketing, once you know all of that, then how do you want to drive people to the site, and how do you want to keep them there? And a lot of times video, audio, that keeps people on your website.
Yeah. You said a couple things of, it was a while ago, because people that, until you build a website, you don't realize how hard the content piece is as the business owner. Yes. And I just wanted to ask you, is that one of the biggest challenges you really see as you're building websites? Is because as a business person, they just don't understand, when you put in the graphics, the text, the video, whatever else you're going to try to incorporate in your website, putting all that content together is a huge job, but it's a huge job that they honestly have to do a lot of.
Exactly. And I asked them early, I said, I don't do copy. I don't write copy out, because, and I think that's a misconception, because you have a lot of web developers or designers that say, oh, I'll do the copy for you. However, I find copy to be very important, because it becomes a sales copy. It becomes that engagement copy. And if you don't know how to write properly for that purpose, you're going to miss the mark. So yes, I can write copy, but I don't do it for a reason. I want to make sure that if you're going to have a professional to bring copy for you, then let's get that professional who will sit down, take the time to dissect, and then they'll be able to write it out in a way that's persuasive without you saying buy, but they're helping you tell that story, and they're helping you make that sale. So it's a very intricate form. And the same thing with your graphics. I think a lot of that becomes part of the brand, the overall brand. If you don't know what your brand is, it's way beyond just pictures and colors. You have to know what's the feel, what's the emotion. So I started to tell people to think of your website as an experience. What's the experience you want people to have when they come to your website? And then you're going to kill it regardless. Even when you're doing updates and changes, you're always going to kill it, because the focus will always be the user experience.
That is so that's phenomenal. And again, so, anybody out there listening, as you are determining, say, if you're out there looking for a new web designer, web firm, or maybe you're going to do it internally, let's just recap a few things here, Charlene.
Yeah.
Focused on profits, turning those clicks into profits, and just, kudos to you. So being so profit focused and, success focused for your clients. You've talked about, goals, that goal setting, how critical that is going through this process. And again, so guys, if you're picking that new firm to work with, or, new website, rehab, whatever, and man, I'm telling you, Charlene is an absolute expert. I love some of the taglines, the struggle site and curing these struggles, rescue my site. I love all of these little catchphrases that you have. But what I want to dig into, and I know, and so we're going to have Charlene back, guys. So if you're just, I know we need to wrap up here in a minute, but you're just getting a sliver of, wait for part 2, man. This is going to be so good. But Charlene, so somebody lands on, you mentioned call to action. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'd like to, we'll close out in a minute here, but I'd like to just talk a little bit about, if somebody's like, hey, I'm not sure exactly what you meant by call to action in website language. What does call to action mean? And again, we're speaking to manufacturers. So like, what would be a typical call to action that they would be interested in?
Yeah. So what we normally see, especially, and I would say from a DIYer standpoint, you will always see buy now. Those little buttons or the little sections that say download today or buy now, or purchase, make your purchase here, things like that. Those are your call to actions. So you want to tell people what to do. And a lot of times we misunderstand that because someone's on the website doesn't mean they know what the journey we thought, what the journey we had in mind for them would be. So instead of having them veer off or leave, because that's called bounce for tech, right? You don't want them to leave early. So what you want to do is start telling them as soon as they get on their site, which is at the very top, tell them what to do. Tell them, hey, you can book a call with us. You need something, you need a delivery or whatever. Schedule something with us. Schedule a call. Go to our calendar and have a button there that takes them directly. You don't want to have a button that takes them to another page, and then they got to go to another page, and then they finally get to your calendar, because not everybody has a tolerance to click, and it's usually up to 4 clicks. 4 to 5 clicks is most people's limit, and then they just leave. They don't even want to know anymore. So if you have them coming in hot, then give them something to do immediately. And if it's book a call, if it's buy your latest service, your latest product, make that the first thing they do. And then of course, once you start to go down, it's great to even have a video next to it, because a lot of times we don't want to read. We may be in a hurry. We don't want to read. So if you can talk to us and get to the point quickly and let us know, hey, this is what it is. This is what my site is, or this is what the offer is. That even makes it even better. And then they're like, yes, I'm here. And then they're going. So the call to action is really tell them what to do. The same way in an email. Don't send a long email and then you're not telling them what to do. So and emails are different too. They have their purposes. So if you have a sales email, immediately give them the thing to sell, to buy, and be done with it.
Absolutely. I'm going to pull up a comment here. How's this? Your buddy John Maglino says, use an action to get your CTA, get, start, download, secure. And manufacturing could be request for a quote, call us now. Again, like have that sense of urgency on your website to engage. Charlene, Damon, you have a comment? You're going to say something?
You said something about a video with the call to action. I think that's a cool idea. And when you have you back, I want to talk about some of these details, because you mentioned Sandbox too. If people haven't, I mean, man, that is like if your web developer does not have a sandbox, you're just like doing it live. That is such a horrible practice. It just kills you. But this video and the call to action, that is super cool, because, you think about a little box beside where they click and go, hey, this is, if you want to do this, blah, 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 like a 15-second video would be awesome.
Yes. And some videos have it inside the video.
Yeah.
An interactive video.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. So cool.
So, all right. So, Charlene, first off, our deepest apologies. We ran into a little tech issue. We're sending you tons of love and virtual hugs. Thank you for your patience.
Yes. I totally understand.
Thank you for your She does all sorts of LinkedIn Live, so she felt our pain. So thank you. You were such a gracious guest here. We appreciate it. So this was so much fun. So Charlene, this is what we're going to do. So you and I, we're going to be talking between now and you know what? How about you come back and hang out with us on April Fool's Day? So how about April Fool's Day? So maybe.
Yes, I'm here for it.
So you and I will connect. We're going to have you back for part 2. Yeah. And what we want to do. So we talked a lot about the why and a little bit about the early process. Okay. Yes. What I'd like to do is we would really love to kind of pick that genius brain of yours and like dig deeper into the how. We want to go into you talked about strategies, you talked about goals, you talked about profits. As Damon just recapped, you threw out all sorts of incredible ideas. Yeah. We are just scratching the surface of what we want to dig into. So let's close out on this, Charlene.
Okay.
First off, thank you. Thank you. God bless you. We appreciate you. So your parting thoughts, any words of wisdom, any sound advice for our folks out there that are getting started with their website or anything that you want to share as we close out?
Yes. Plan. And the cheap comes out expensive. So if you know there's something,
the cheap comes out expensive. Boom, right there.
If you know there's something you need,
the cheap comes out expensive. I'm writing it down.
If you know there's something you need, and if you cannot invest in it now, it's best to start planning for it so you can make sales or do whatever it is that you need to do and invest in it later. And a lot of times people misunderstand doing a quick and dirty process to, let me just opt into the cheap and just stay there. No. A lot of times the cheap is just to get you started and wait and hold you over until you can invest in what you really need.
Yeah. Oh my God, Charlene! Have you been talking to my wife, Charlene? I don't know. Could you? And I'm sorry. We're gonna close the program on this. Could you please repeat that?
Yes, the cheap comes out expensive.
The cheap. I'm 53. I've never heard that line.
Never
comes out expensive, man. That's like, you know what, Damon? That's my new T-shirt right there. I'm the king. I'm the king of stepping over the dollar to pick up the dime. You know what I mean? So like, I need Charlene in my life to like save myself here. Oh my goodness! But all right, moment of silence. John Baglino here. All right, everybody, moment of silence. Here it is.
Yes.
Savor it. Savor it.
Just bask in that glory.
Oh my God, that might have been one of the best lines of the year on this program, man. That was so good. Okay, we're gonna wind up. We're coming to the bottom of the hour. Charlene, again, we are so sorry. Thank you for being such a gracious guest. Thank you for being such a great advocate on multiple levels. You are spearheading and inspiring women in entrepreneurship, women in tech. You're just leading the charge in so many aspects. I am so honored and thrilled that we connected. Damon and I, we have so much more to talk about. And we'll have you back in a few weeks. So thank you for taking the time to join us today. We can't wait to continue this. So guys, this was part 1. We're coming back for part 2. So thank you. Guys, go out, have an amazing, incredible, phenomenal weekend. Damon, what's going on in your life tomorrow?
Picking up a puppy, Curt.
Picking up a puppy, brother. So, nice. Awesome. So a new addition to the Pistolka clan. So hey, to you and Lene, we wish you an awesome weekend as you bring home this new bundle of joy. Can't wait to hear those stories. So guys, have a great weekend. Charlene, hang on 1 second. We're going to close out the broadcast and you guys go out, have a phenomenal weekend. We'll talk to you soon.